For more than 12,000 years, the Colorado River has played a crucial role in American cultural history. It has provided Native American groups with a vital source of water and sustained modern river-running businesses and adventures. The river has also been central in political battles against dams in the United States, and has served as a source of inspiration for American artists, such as painters, photographers, songwriters, and authors. Moreover, the Colorado River holds importance due to its remarkable ability to carve through the Grand Canyon, exposing nearly 2 billion years of the Earth's geologic history. The layers of limestone, sandstone, shale, granite, and schist that make up the Grand Canyon's rock sequence have been eroded away by water and wind over the last 6 million years. This erosion has resulted in the stunning cliffs and slopes that create a magnificent display of shape and color, telling the story of the Earth's formation and structure like few other places on the planet. Therefore, exploring the Colorado River can provide an opportunity to learn about the nature, culture, and history of the Grand Canyon and America as a whole. The Colorado River is home to two of the most popular dams in the United States, the Hoover Dam and Lake Mead, which were completed in 1936. The Glen Canyon Dam, completed in 1963, is located near Lee's Ferry at the upper end of the canyon and creates Lake Powell. Cities and farms in the arid Southwest heavily rely on the Colorado River, which exports more water than any other river in the United States. Municipal and industrial purposes in cities such as Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, San Diego, and many others are reliant on water from the Colorado River basin. Additionally, water from the Colorado River plays a critical role in irrigating 2 million acres of land. In its natural state, the Colorado River is approximately 2,330 kilometers (1,450 miles) long. The river's annual flow rate is about 20.1 cubic kilometers or 16.3 million acre-feet, with an average flow rate of 640 cubic meters or 22,500 cubic feet per second, as it flows into the Gulf of California each year. However, due to its dry climate, the once mighty Colorado River has become the most regulated and litigated river on the planet. Unlike other natural problems, the problem of the Colorado River can be traced back to a 100-year-old miscalculation. The river's flow has decreased by about 20% since the 1900s, and the two largest reservoirs it feeds are only about a third full. Lake Mead, the nation's largest reservoir, has dropped more than 150 feet in the last 2 decades, leaving little water for the more than 40 million residents that depend on the river. The dwindling amount of snow and rain is one of the reasons why the Colorado River is shrinking. The West is currently experiencing its 23rd year of drought, which according to research, may be the driest period in the last 1,200 years, exacerbated by climate change. Furthermore, the sheer number of citizen farms consuming water is contributing to the problem. Approximately 3/4 of all the water consumed by humans from the Colorado River is used for irrigating farms, which supply nearly all of the nation's winter vegetables, among other things. However, one of the main reasons the Colorado River is running out of water has to do with bad math, which is why it is important to pay attention in high school math class. A century ago, 7 states including Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming shared the water in the Colorado River. The Colorado River Compact Agreement was based on a critical number: the river's total annual water supply, estimated at 20 million acre-feet per year, which, according to officials, could be provided by the river. However, this estimate was based on a figure that was far too high and did not match the actual amount of water that the river could supply. Unfortunately, the decisions made by water managers and politicians, who ignored the available science at the time, have resulted in the river's problems in the 21st century. One man, Eugene Clyde LaRue, was sent by the U.S. Geological Survey in the early 20th century to measure the Colorado River. LaRue noticed that there were severe droughts beyond the time horizon measured by the river for a few decades. In a report published in 1916, he concluded that the river was susceptible to severe droughts, ranging from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100 years, and it does not always remain wet and full. To determine how to allocate the Colorado River among the 7 states, the negotiators of the Colorado River Compact needed scientific information on the river's water supply. However, they chose to ignore the findings of Eugene Clyde LaRue, a scientist dispatched by the U.S. Geological Survey, who noted severe droughts in his 1916 report. Instead, the negotiators used a recent period of abundant water to determine the river's water supply, and promised more water to each state than the river could realistically provide. This promise of abundant water facilitated political negotiations, allowing each state to irrigate more land and pump more water for various uses. The negotiators estimated up to 20 million acre-feet of water flowing from the river annually, but today we know that the river can only provide 12 million acre-feet, partly due to climate change. In retrospect, the negotiators' decision to disregard scientific evidence was convenient for them but led to difficult consequences that could have been avoided with a more realistic approach. The Colorado River is facing its worst water crisis in a century, with water levels at historic lows. Scientists predict that the river's reservoirs will reach critically low levels in the coming years, making it impossible for water to flow downstream or generate electricity. This is a major problem not only for the millions of people who rely on the river for their water supply, but also for the region's wildlife. The river and its tributaries support more than 70% of the region's wildlife, including several species of birds. Climate change is making the situation worse, as rising temperatures lead to more water evaporation and less precipitation in the Rocky Mountains, which is the river's source. This has led to severe droughts and a significant decrease in the river's flow, which is expected to decrease by 5 to 20% over the next 40 years. Lake Mead, one of the river's reservoirs, has dropped over 130 feet since 2000, leaving distinct lines in the rock walls that indicate the drastic drop in water levels. Officials predict that some reservoirs will never be full again. This crisis is a result of past decisions made by water managers and politicians who ignored scientific evidence and promised more water than the river could provide. The Colorado River is a stark reminder of the consequences of overusing a limited resource. The Colorado River no longer reaches the sea as it used to due to the proliferation of invasive plant species like salt cedar and cattails, which have taken over the delta and replaced the once lush forests. As a result, the Gulf of California has experienced a significant decrease in fresh water, leading to a decline in the populations of shellfish, shrimp, and waterfowl. Although the environmental implications of the drying up of the Colorado River are severe, shocking discoveries are being unearthed from the riverbed. For instance, the area under Lake Mead revealed the remains of 5 individuals during the period of May to August. The dried-up sections of the lake exposed human skeletal remains, which were reported by U.S. National Park Service rangers. The Clark County Medical Examiner was called in to identify the remains and determine the cause of death. However, the discovery came after the decayed body of a man was found stuffed inside a steel barrel near the reservoir's Hemingway fishing pier. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department confirmed that this discovery occurred more than 20 miles from Coralville, where the skeletal remains were located. The Colorado River no longer flows into the sea due to invasive plants taking over the delta, which has resulted in mudflats replacing forests and a decline in shellfish, shrimp, and waterfowl populations in the Gulf of California. While the environmental implications of the river's drying up are massive, recent discoveries from the riverbed are equally shocking. The second discovery was made by 2 sisters, Lindsey and Lynette Melvin, who were paddleboarding on the lake because the water was too shallow for snorkeling. They found the skeletal remains while exploring a sandbar that used to be underwater before a prolonged drought reduced the water table to historic lows. The sisters initially thought the discovery was the remains of a bighorn sheep, but they then discovered a human jawbone with teeth still attached and reported it to National Park Service ranges. The sisters grew up in Las Vegas, where they heard stories of mafia hitmen dumping bodies in the lake. Jeff Schumacher, a mob historian and vice president of exhibits and programs at the Mob Museum in Las Vegas, believes the discovery of the bodies, particularly the man found in the barrel, has reignited those rumors. Another discovery from Lake Mead is the remains of a U.S. bomber that crashed into the lake many decades ago. The plane, a B-29 Superfortress, crashed into Lake Mead during high-altitude atmospheric research in July 1948. Although the pilot and co-pilot believed they were 400 feet above the lake's surface, the altimeter was reportedly inaccurate, and the plane crashed into the water around 12:30 p.m. The plane sank to the bottom of Lake Mead, where it still remains today. On board were Captain Robert Madison, First Lieutenant Paul Hessler, Staff Sergeant David Burns, John Cimaroth, and Sergeant Frank Rico, all of whom survived. In the comments section below, feel free to share your thoughts on the Colorado River.